Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. Here are 2 forms from the VA that you should absolutely include with your claim if you are trying to establish your Nexus. Now, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to this channel, please do so. And look, if you have the ability to share it, watch it, hit the thumbs up, let the video run, all of that stuff. It really helps the channel to grow. So thank you so much. All right, jumping into this. There are 2 kind of versions. There's actually 3. We'll say 3. There's 3 versions of filing a claim, just a regular service connection claim. One would be presumptive. That eliminates your need for a Nexus. Probably the easiest route for service connection. Number 2 would be a claim where you actually have documentation during service that shows your condition, your ailments, whatever, showing that it manifested or as a result of your time in service, and your Nexus is kind of built in there, and it all makes sense and moves forward. Then the last one here is the bulk of individuals will have the type of claim in which you need to satisfy the Nexus requirement from the VA. Now, in satisfying the Nexus requirement, if you do not have anything in your service treatment records, or at least nothing substantial in your service treatment records regarding your condition, that it manifested during your time in service or as a result of your time in service in some fashion, you will most likely go get a Nexus letter from your doctor, the VA doctor, if they'll do it, probably not. Bring your doctor up to speed, probably the most cost-effective way. If they can't, won't, don't, they don't understand the legalese of the VA, utilize AME. They're in the comments and in the description. They have a free consultation. Get the information. Information's free. Then make an educated decision on if it's the right path for you. Now, 2 forms that you're going to want to work on while you're going through that process, in my opinion, is the statement forms is the best way I could put it. So you're going to hear a lot out there about things like buddy statements or your own personal statement. There are VA forms for those specific requests, right? Or letters that you would be writing, statements. So the 4138, which is, it's 21-4138, is the form number from the VA. That form number, 214138, 214138, that form is for you, the veteran, to complete. You're going to tell your story, right? So the idea would be, okay, I was never diagnosed for migraines during my time in service. I never mentioned it anywhere in my time in service, but I started getting migraines during my time in service, and I would go to my medic or my corpsman, and I would get my Motrin, and I would move on. That created this behavior of that's how I treat migraines, so I took that with me after I left the military, and I continued to just buy bottles and bottles of Motrin or Advil or Excedrin or whatever you buy. So at that point, you have nothing in your military records, service treatment records, so you need to build the bridge back. Now, in that process, you're going to be getting that Nexus letter. That's the medical evidence with rationale on why they believe that your condition is at least likely as not to have manifested or occurred due to your time in service. And you're going to follow that up with your own personal statement on the 214138. In that form, you would write that story, right? When I was in, never had any issues, never had migraines, and then, whatever, halfway through, 3 years in, whatever it is, in the year of whatever, I started to get migraines, these horrible headaches. I went to the medic, the corpsman. They gave me Motrin. After a couple hours, it seemed to dissipate enough for me to function again. And, it would take a day or whatever for it to completely go away. I would take multiple 800 milligrams throughout the day to combat it. And that's how I treated myself. I never went to go get diagnosed. I didn't think that there was anything more than that. I wasn't instructed by the medic or the corpsman to go get diagnosed. It seemed as though this was the course of action, right? And quite frankly, I didn't want to cause any more attention to myself in this way, as it was frowned upon to go to medical and blah, 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 right? So you tell your story. And then, maybe it wraps up with, it wasn't until 10 years ago or 5 years ago or 3 years ago or 2 years ago that I saw a commercial on TV about migraine medication. And I thought, you know what? All of this Motrin probably isn't doing me any good on my inside. So I decided to get diagnosed for my migraines and see if I could get a prescription medication instead of just taking Motrin all the time. And so that's when you got diagnosed, right? Now you've got your form completed. That's the 214138. That's good to go. But now you're going to hear things about buddy statements. Maybe somebody that you served with could attest to remembering, yeah, man, you were laying in the corner with that migraine that day. I remember that. Whatever it is, right? If you know anybody in service that could do a buddy statement, that's great. Family members, any family members that could attest to their knowledge of before you didn't have any migraines that they were aware of. And it wasn't until you came home for leave that time that you sat down with a bottle of Advil and they asked you what was going on, right? So they could write a letter for you as well. It's on a different form. That form is 21-10210. So that is the lay witness statement form. So you would utilize that form for anybody that's writing a letter on your behalf. Now, on the VA's website here, where these forms are, so if you Googled, maybe you Google VA statement in support of claim or VA statement letters, this page should pop up. But nonetheless, you have the numbers. 214138, 21-4138 is the statement in support of claim. It's related to all kinds of different things you could utilize this form for. It's a basic VA form. So whether it's careers and employment, disability, which is what I'm talking about, education and training, healthcare, housing assistance, life insurance, and pension. So the last revision date, which I always suggest, if you're going to pull up a form, pull it directly from the VA's website. If you do not, you risk it being an outdated form. So this one was last revised July 2024. It says when to use this form, use the VA form 214138 to provide additional information to support your claim. So again, that's you. Next one is the VA form 21-10210, which is the lay witness statement. It says use the VA form 21-10210 to submit a formal statement to support your VA claim or the claim of another veteran or eligible family member. Please, people also sometimes call this statement a buddy statement. All right, so that's awesome. While we're here, I'll give you a couple more helpful forms in the event that you ever need them, which is the VA form 2010206. That's the Freedom of Information Act form or the Privacy Act request. You use that form to access your compensation, pension, benefits, and military records. And the last one is priority processing. I've done videos on this in the past. Priority processing will do what it says. It should front load you if you're in a more, I guess, high risk type of a position. You're terminally ill, you have eviction notices, you're of a certain age. Those would be some of the reasons in which the VA would consider you for priority processing of your claim. That's VA form 2010207. All right, with that, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.